If you really are a nice guy and you're concerned about being too nice and that's why you're not getting women, honestly, you should be getting all the women. And if you're not, and I guess you're not because you're watching me right now, then there are some very specific reasons why not. And it's not because you're nice. In this video, you're going to learn insider information on how you can be a nice guy and still get the girl. I'm not going to tell you that women only date alpha male douchebags because it's just not true. And you should know that it's not true. And you probably, I hope, know at least one beautiful woman, like a really beautiful, desirable woman who you're friends with or who you know socially. And if you know one beautiful woman, then you probably also know her boyfriend or her husband. And I'm guessing, odds are, math on my side, he's not a douche. He's probably a really good guy. An impressive guy, a guy who you'd like to be friends with, a guy who you're like, well, yeah, of course she ended up with him. She's awesome. He's awesome. It's cool those guys got together. But yet there's this persistent thing. It persists out there that women only go for jerks. And that's because when it happens, it makes a big impression and it tickles a region of our brain called the Broca region. When you see some beautiful woman and she's with this incredible douche, it affects you in a negative way. And it becomes very memorable. It makes a real imprint on you. If you really are a nice guy and you're concerned about being too nice and that's why you're not getting women, honestly, you should be getting all the women. And if you're not, and I guess you're not because you're watching me right now, then there are some very specific reasons why not. And it's not because you're nice. And I want to talk to you about those reasons today. It begins with why men believe that they need a trick to get with a beautiful woman, a woman that they're really interested in. And first of all, yes, most guys do believe that. Most guys believe they need a trick to get a very beautiful woman. And the more you want a woman, the worse it gets, right? If she's super desirable, if you want her really badly, she's the one you really want, the more we feel like we're going to need some trick to get her because, we look around at all the other men in the room and we think, well, she could get with anybody. Why would she choose me? And then we start acting weird. Who would I have to be? What would I have to do to get this girl interested in me? And then we try and do that thing. And that's called a trick, right? We're trying to trick her. We're trying to figure out, like, what clever thing would I have to say? Who would I have to be? What cool thing would I have to do so that she'd be interested in me rather than, giving her the opportunity to actually like who we are. And listen, there's a lot of good reasons for this because rejection and loneliness, okay, that stuff sucks. What happens is when that happens to us as men, we get angry and we feel justified, frankly, in using a trick, in using some clever pickup line or some text thing that somebody told us works every time. We feel justified in playing these games. So look, here's the truth of it. Everyone's had their heart broken. That's part of being a human. Everyone's had their heart broken. So everybody can point to the time when a woman was really mean to them. But here's the deal, dude. It's not just men. Every woman I've ever spoken to, because I coach women too, every woman I've ever spoken to has also had her heart broken. And women go around going, oh man, they just want one thing and then they're gonna leave you and cheat on you. And women say the same thing about men that men say about women. It's easy to get angry because everybody's had their heart broken. That's just the reality of what it is to be a human. On any given night, out at a bar or a club or anywhere you go, any social environment, there are plenty of women who are out to hook up that night. Maybe they had a bad month. Maybe they're just sick of men and they're sick of the boyfriend that broke up with them and they're pissed off and they are literally out just to get a hookup. They're there, and if you get in front of them, probably things are going to go well for you that night. So if a woman is out just to, hook up that night, she's kind of sorting for jerks. Why? Because a guy who's too nice to her in that situation, where she's angry and only looking for a quick and easy hookup, nice guys are a problem because they can end up, being too into her and being a stalker. It's not easy and convenient. If he's a good guy, then she's going to want to bring her more authentic self to that experience as well. And that's going to make it more difficult for her to have a quick and easy and convenient hookup. So sometimes in that case, she's sorting for the jerk. So for them, if they play that numbers game, they're going to walk out with a woman. It's going to look impressive. But the reality is That's not the way to get a girlfriend. And way more women out there are not just looking for a quick hookup for the night. They're actually looking for a nice guy. And also, guys who get too good at tricking women often get stuck in it. They played a certain game to get her out of the bar, and then he's different the next day. And that disconnect makes her feel like, uh-oh, there's something not right here. And so there's no possibility of forming a real relationship. I mean, honestly, do you really think that using a trick to get a woman is the way to find your lover, your best friend, possibly your wife, like a serious girlfriend? Of course it's not. I really like women. I think women are cool. And my clients all think that women are really cool. And they're all, having very successful romantic lives. So let's start with this. You can't get somebody to like you by trying to get them to like you. That just never works. You can't get somebody to like you by trying to get them to like you. And you know that. You can just imagine what it would be like if I were to walk up to you right now and I was trying to get you to like me. And maybe I would walk up to you and I'd say, hey, bro, nice shoes. Where'd you get those? Those are really, those are cool. And you'd be like, oh, yeah, thanks, man. They're the new Nikes. Oh, yeah, I love Nike. Nike's cool. Yeah, so, wow, yeah, they're cool. You seem like a really cool guy. Maybe we should hang out sometime. Do you want to give me your number? And you can imagine how weird that would be if I was just trying to compliment you and kind of get you to like me. You really do want her to like you. Like that's a problem, right? And the second thing is you don't know what to say to get her to like you. And honestly, you don't know what to do to get her to like you. And so, of course, you end up playing some kind of internal game in your head, trying to figure out how to please her. Now, this has nothing to do with you being a nice guy. This has to do with the real and present problem of you can't talk somebody into liking you. It just doesn't work. And you do want her to like you, and you don't know what to say, you don't know what to do. And so you're just like, who do I have to be? What do I have to do? Look, if you're not the guy who's trying to trick her into bed, inside of this sea of other men who are feeling the same thing you're feeling, like trying to get her to like you, don't know how, trying to figure out some trick to use, in a sea of other men who are trying to play those manipulative games, if you can avoid that trap of trying to make her like you, if you can just avoid that trap, then what you discover is that this game can turn around very quickly for you, and you can actually get all the women that you want while being a nice guy. Quite honestly, if you can just manage this one piece of not trying to make her like you, and you actually are a good dude, you're actually a nice guy, then what happens quickly in the interaction is she's going to begin to wonder what it's going to be like when you finally take her home to bed, because she's already made the decision that it's going to happen. It's just a question of when. But, of course, that is easier said than done. You do want her, and you don't know what to say or do. And all of that is because of the psychological games that happen when we fear rejection, the games that play in our own mind and cause a series of blind spots that I refer to as attraction blockers. There are these things that you do that prevent women from feeling attraction for you, and you don't know you're doing them. They are stemming from the fact that you want her to like you, and you're trying to get her to like you in some subtle way. That's what it stems from. And this translates into one of three behaviors that I call attraction blockers. And I have designed a free assessment that allows you to figure out which of these attraction blockers is the one that is holding you back. And more than 36,000 men have taken this assessment. It's been a game changer, because once you can see what your attraction blocker is, it allows you to begin to make more intelligent decisions and to behave in a very different way. So what I've done is I've made this free quiz. If you click the link, you can go take it for yourself. The questions alone will give you a lot of insight and give you a lot to think about in the way that you've been approaching your relationships with women. And then I'm going to give you a free report that outlines what your attraction blocker is and exactly what steps you can take to deal with it so that you can begin to trigger natural attraction from women, as you should, because you are a good man. If you're a good dude who's not getting what you believe you deserve in terms of attraction from women, I'm telling you, this is why. So click the quiz now. I'll see you on the other side.